You may be looking at me with my Kyle Busch hat on and thinking, hey, he's a big Kyle Busch fan. No, not a Kyle Busch fan, I wouldn't say. But I respect him. I think he's a good race car driver. And one of the funniest things to watch is Kyle Busch haters getting triggered. Not going to lie, I love that. Kyle Busch fans, Kyle Busch haters, this one's for you. Delicious. So, if you didn't pick up on it, Kyle Busch won the 2019 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Man, he drove a great race. He won Homestead. Just a great overall race for that team. It's a meh race in general. I mean, that's all I got to say on that. I'm just going to talk about the race. I can get into package and fun technical stuff later. But anyways, congratulations to that team. It's a big deal. Big fan of their sponsor, M&M's. Like, who doesn't like some M&M's? But that's a big deal for him. A lot of doubt coming into this race for that team. They haven't won since June. They've been inconsistent in the playoffs. They just don't seem the same as they used to be. Kyle Busch seems off. There was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of crap going around that team, and they were just like, screw you guys. I think we're just going to win it. So, Kyle Busch, what a guy. Yeah, I think he's a great driver. He has his moments, obviously, off the track, like post-race interviews where he's kind of like, But, gotta admit, it's kind of funny to watch his haters, like, crumble and stuff. I think it's the same for anyone's haters, but just Kyle, because he, like, acknowledges it, too. So, big congratulations to Kyle Busch once again. The Busch family, the Gibbs organization, the Gibbs family. Obviously, Joe Gibbs lost his son, J.D. Gibbs, this year. Very sad, very tragic passing. And this is a big deal. He had 3 of the 4 cars in the final, and he was able to get the championship. So that's a big deal for Gibbs, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be a very emotional victory for him and that team, that whole organization. But there's also heartbreak in the organization. Martin Truex Jr. comes up short, and Denny Hamlin come up short of the title, even though they had solid runs. But they had a couple of mistakes that cost them the title. First, we'll cover Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. slapped the field in the first half of the race. He was freaking 10 laps ahead of everyone. He had lapped like all but 10 drivers. He was kicking butt. Like, he was just freaking dominating. He had like a 6-second lead. Then the weirdest of errors happens. They put the right front tire on the left front and the left front tire on the right front. Good news for them, they noticed it instantly, so they were able to come back and get that done. But according to Dale Jr., that's a multiple second fall off very quickly, quicker than it should be. So good for them to figure it out that quick, but it also sucks because they had such a big lead. They had to give that up, win a lap down. We're able to get their lap back, but at the end, they were behind. They had to try a different strategy. They were 7 seconds behind Kyle Busch, and they just couldn't close the gap. They closed it down to 4 seconds at one point, but it just wasn't enough. So Truex, a very disappointing end to the season, obviously. But a successful season. 7 wins is something to be proud of with your first year in this organization. He was in an alliance when he was at Furniture Row, so they've been with Gibbs. He's been in Gibbs equipment, but he has never been directly inside of Gibbs' organization running Joe Gibbs racing cars. So you get my point there. And then Denny Hamlin, obviously, man, he wanted that first title so bad, came up short. They were having a good run at the end there. It seemed like the car was off the first half or so, but they were able to get back into it. You know, they were up front contending for the lead, contending for that win. But a late pit stop, they put the tape on. They put a freaking, it was bigger than Marty Snyder's forearm. And they just slapped that sucker in the middle of the grill. Overheated, water was shooting out. It screwed them up. They had to pit. It was either that or the engine blow. So, unfortunate ending for Denny Hamlin's incredible season. Once again, nothing to be disappointed about. 6 wins is something to be very happy with. Obviously, he wanted that first title. He's going to be heartbroken. Michael Jordan was at the track rooting him on, but man, I feel bad for him. I really do, but he said before the race, you can't have any mistakes if you want to win this thing, and Kyle Busch's team didn't make any mistakes, and Truex and Hamlin did. As for Harvick, he had a fast car. Late in that strategy, they were in the same situation as Truex. They weren't going to catch him if they ran the same pit strategy. They were too far behind. They had to try to stay out and hope for a caution. No caution came out. NBC jinxed it. They said, the average final run, or the longest we've had recently, is like 34 green flag laps. They went green for like the whole third stage. So, yeah. But uneventful race, really. There wasn't really any drama or anything. There wasn't a ton of like passing on the green flag runs. There were some good battles. I'll admit there were some good battles. Who was it? I think it was Harvick and Hamlin, Harvick and Truex or someone. They had a really good battle going. They were going side by side. One would go to the top, one would go to the bottom. It was like the Custer Reddit battle almost, but really good battle. I'm still watching the post-race stuff, so I'm going to go to the results here just to get on. But Kyle Busch being a two-time champion, he's now one of two active drivers with multiple championships. Guess the other. Nope, you're wrong. It's Jimmy Johnson. Honestly, you probably guessed Jimmy Johnson, so no offense sorry if I said you were wrong, but let's go through the finishing results. Gibbs does get a 1-2-3. Busch, Truex, and Jones finishes third. Really good end of the season for Jones. Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Combined for 222 led laps. And if you add Hamlin's laps in there, 224 laps. So Gibbs dominated the day. The championship 4 dominated the day. Harvick led another 41 laps in there. Harvick finished fourth. As I said, just not enough. Had to try something different at the end there. Fifth, Joey Logano, good run for him. Sixth, Clint Boyer, really good run for him. Seventh, Newman, really good run for him. Eighth, Austin Dillon, really good run for him. There were some good runs in here that we didn't really get to see because it was a championship race. Ninth, Alex Bowman, solid run for him. 10th, Denny Hamlin. 11th, Ryan Blaney. 12th, Daniel Hemrick, locked up Rookie of the Year. Really good run for him. Unfortunately, he will not be back in that car next year because RCR didn't want to give him a chance on the long term. I can go back into that later if you want. 13th, Jimmy Johnson. He had a really good car, actually. He was top 10, competing for a top 5 at one point. I don't know what happened at the end there, but solid finish. 14th, Daniel Suarez, his last race in that 41 car. 15th, Chase Elliott. 16th, Chris Buescher, his last race in that car. I'm going to try not to cry for this next one. 17th, Paul Menard. I didn't get to say it in the preview, but Paul Menard and David Reagan, this was their last race. You know, it's like a little bit of a meme because, you know, they've had solid Cup careers. They've got a couple wins, but they've never been, like, competing for championships. They've never been, like, deep playoff run contenders. But they've had solid careers, I'll admit. NASCAR won't be the same without them. David Reagan and Paul Menard, both really good guys. Just overall great people who have good families, have had good runs. So it's going to be different without them for sure. Paul Menard, obviously, he's got a killer beard and had that Brickyard win back in 2011. I'm going to miss Paul Menard. I really like him. I like the memes that come along. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. 18th, Brad Keselowski. Bad ending of the season for him. 19th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., his last race in that car. 20th, Matt DiBenedetto, his last race in that car. I'll go into this next year in our 2020 season preview, but I'm still a little upset about that and what's going to happen next year. 21st, Kurt Busch. His brother wins the championship, so good day for him. 22nd, Eric Almirola. Okay. In those closing laps, Eric Almirola was getting lapped by Kyle Busch, and it looked like he was going down, and I was like, oh my God, is he about to wreck Kyle Busch? Like, is he actually about to do something? He didn't, so let's see. What's the year streak now of people calling people out saying they're not going to win the championship, and they won the championship? Two. I know Eric didn't say it directly, but it was kind of implied. 23rd, John Hunter Nemechek. Spun earlier. He was fine. 23rd. 24th, Ty Dillon. 25th, Ryan Preece. 26th, Michael McDowell. 27th, David Reagan. He had a couple wins. One at Talladega, one at Daytona. I miss David Reagan. He's honestly like one of the best people you'll ever see in NASCAR. Like, just as an overall person, he's genuine. He's nice. There was a tribute video and Carl Edwards showed up. Let me tell you something. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Carl Edwards decides to make a tribute video in a grocery store on the candy aisle, and in the middle of it, he says hi to a random person. It goes silent for a minute, and then he starts talking again. I love Carl Edwards and all, but that was really weird. Like, I don't know. 28th, Landon Castle, Ghost.com. 29th, Drew Herring. 30th, J.J. Haley. 31st, Corey LaJoy. 32nd, B.J. McLeod. 33rd, Timmy Hill. Go Timmy. 34th, Bubba Wallace. 35th, Josh Ross Chastain. 36, I can't talk anymore. Josh Bilicki. 37th, Reed Sorensen. 38th, Joe Nemechek. 39th, William Byron. Had an engine problem, and the same for Kyle Larson, who finished 40th. He was running top 5. He was freaking doing his thing at Homestead, and then his engine decided to say oof. The decade is over for NASCAR. No more races this decade. 2019's over. Kyle Busch is your champion. And if you don't like it, get over it, basically. But, yeah, I can do more stuff on this if you want. If you want to see some, like, Kyle Busch dedication video, I can do that. I might do a Homestead dedication video, too, because, you know, Kyle Busch championship, that has nothing to do with Homestead. But I'll do some tribute to them, but I'll talk about that. Finale stuff. I'll talk about a lot. Okay. We've gone long. You can stay another minute. Next week and a half's weird. I'm really busy, so there's no telling when videos are going to get uploaded. Just kind of expect, like, any day. Just always be excited. But after that, it's a little bit calmer. After Thanksgiving, it calms down a little bit. I got some more time. I got some more ideas, and then, like, the second week in December is when, like, I'll start posting a lot. So expect that. Expect more variety of stuff. It'll be a fun time. But thank you for watching this. If you've made it all the way to this point, like, just give me a high five. If you're a Kyle Busch fan, give me a high five. Really good year. I mean, overall, I'll do a full season review later, but I give the grade on the season a B minus. I mean, it wasn't, like, exceptional. It wasn't sucky. It was above average, I'd say. It had its moments where it sucked. It had its moments where it was really good. So, B minus. I don't see why not. But other than that, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, you guys are killing it. This is another good month. Keep subscribing. Keep sharing the channel. We can have some good discussions in the comments. So, thanks for that. This has gone on long enough. Congratulations to Kyle Busch, M&M's, Joe Gibbs Racing. To celebrate, I encourage every single one of you to go out and get a pack of